Hello there! Check out this brain. It's made with air-dry clay. It's pretty simple to make and we had a lot of fun making it. So if you'd like to see how we made it, just keep watching. We have created this top, side and front view that you can find on our website and print out. This brain has been made to the size of a real human brain, and the first step is to create the general shape of the brain. This can be made 90% smaller than the finished size of the brain. So I roughly draw in the shape of the brain 1 centimetre inside the finished outline. So for this project, I'll be using a 2 kg block of white air dry clay, a butter knife as a modelling tool and some Glad wrap. You'll notice I'm using a banding wheel too, but this isn't compulsory. A plate will work just fine. We can then cut 5 centimetres off the end of the block. Store this in an airtight container and then fashion the block into a general brain shape. We don't need any tools for this and we can just push and pull it into shape. If you dip your hands into water, it will be easier as the clay won't stick to the hands. Refer to the printout and push and pull the clay until the shape looks correct. While you're here, take a look around the Create section on our site and uncover a whole heap of free stuff, from free projects, handy tips and tricks, and techniques to keep you busy. Once the shape is finished, we create a 5mm deep trench down the centre of the shape. Next, cut and flatten out the clay we put aside to a thickness of 1 centimetre. Then cut 1 centimetre strips with the butter knife, roll the strips into tubes and put them aside. Once they are all rolled out, we can apply the tubes to the outside of the shape. If we look at the reference sheet, we can see the brain is divided into 2 halves. These are called hemispheres. As we apply the tubes, curve them back and forth and press them onto the base shape. Finish one side, then create the other. The area beneath the rear of the brain is called the cerebellum. Keep this free of clay and score the surface with the end of the butter knife. Once our brain is finished, we can let it dry. This might take up to 3 or even 4 days. This next painting stage is really optional, but if you want to make your brain look really realistic, you can paint it. For the painting, we'll be using some black, yellow pink, titanium white and vermilion acrylic paint, and a flat brush. The first step is to create a dark grey mix from black, yellow, pink, white and vermilion. Paint this over the entire brain, making sure that it gets into all the nooks and crannies. And let this dry. Once the brain is dry, paint it with a mix of yellow, pink, white and a touch of the dark grey mixture. Paint this over the brain, but don't allow it to get into those nooks and crannies. Once the brain is painted, let that dry. Lighten the mixture with a touch more white, then give it one final coat. Then let this dry. The next step is optional, but we think it gives it even more of a brain look. Pour out some clay varnish and cover the entire brain. And with that, our brain is finished, and we think it looks pretty great. If you try this, we hope you have lots of fun and hope you have at least picked up something you can use with your art. Otherwise, have fun, keep creating, and we'll see you in the next one.